Coming up in the new edition, or the playoff edition of the Low Record Show, we got plenty of basketball to talk about, including an unreal basketball game in Class A tonight. We'll talk about that and other scores around District 3, including a big upset in AAA boys. So, without further ado, your host, Low Record. Has anybody recovered from the game at East Pennsboro tonight? And I'm not talking the first game. I'm talking game number 2 tonight. That was just crazy, crazy, crazy. The only other game I can compare that one to is the game, I think, in 2002, 2003, where Millersburg and Halifax played that 96-93 triple overtime game. I don't think there was many foul shots as tonight, and we'll get into that. But that was just unbelievable. I didn't see it coming, but we'll talk about why I came to my prediction that I did and all that, but compared to the Patriot News / Penn Live, I picked Millersburg to win. They didn't. Who's right? Who's wrong? It's all. But we'll get into that. So let's get into the game. I'll give the scores. We'll start Class A. The thriller, probably the best game of the night in any class. Millersburg and West Shore Christian, a.k.a. Bible Baptist. Millersburg 83-80 overtime win. We'll get into that. The first game of the night at East Penn, Hilda Impact Academy, a.k.a. AAU playing together, 59-35 over Halifax. AAA, the upset of the night in AAA boys. It was Susquehanna Township, the number 1 seed, taking on 4 seed Steel High. And Steel High comes out with a 64-59 win over Susquehanna Township. McDevitt cruises 64-52 over Manheim Central. So, Thursday night, 8 o'clock, Giant Center, Steel High, 4 seed, 21-5 will take on the number 2 seed, Bishop McDevitt. And George Leader's going for a district title as an assistant. So, imagine everybody had Susquehanna Township and McDevitt. Your consolation bracket tonight. Berks Catholic over West York, 60-58. In an OT, Gettysburg, 56-49 over Conrad Weiser. So your 5th and 6th place game will be Berks Catholic against Gettysburg. And for 7th place, York, it'll be West York and Conrad Weiser. AA boys tonight. Hanover 93-67 over Upper Dauphin tonight. Penn Live has that wrong. AA girls tonight. York Catholic got a scare from Trinity, but they hang on to win 36-32. An upset, but in my book, not an upset. Camp Hill and double OT beat Delone 67-64. So your championship game Thursday, 6:15 at the Giant Center. Number 1 seed York Catholic will take on 3 seed Camp Hill. Your consolation game will be Trinity against Delone. And Quad A girls, there was 1 game in the regular for Palmyra. They punched their ticket to the district championship game, 48-42 over Cedar Crest. Your consolation bracket, Mechanicsburg double OT, 51-45 over Hempfield, and Redline, 46-35 over Redland. So Mechanicsburg and Red Lion will play for 5th. And for the last spot, Hempfield and Redland for the last spot in the playoffs. Now, let's get we'll talk about game number 1 here quickly. Halifax and Impact Academy. Halifax did a nice job the first quarter, 20-14. They did a nice job. Trying to get a feel. They were able to hit some baskets early. Bowman hit a couple threes early to get the game started and off to the right track. But then after that, Halifax was having a hard time shooting the ball. They were getting pressured on the wings and up top, and they just could not make the adjustment. Ozenbach, I thought throughout the game he could have had some foul line jump shots, but he didn't take some of them. And plus, they turned the ball over 21 times, and that's not going to help either. Impact Academy they just had guard. They're quick. They like to shoot, but they're more of a penetration type team, and they did a nice job. Their penetration did a lot of pressing. Did a nice job in that aspect as well. Forced some key turnovers, and that was the difference. They put up shots. They put up 50 shots compared to Halifax put up a total of 39 shots. So they were more aggressive offensively. I think the second, third, and fourth quarter, they were more aggressive than Halifax was. And that was the difference. Kobe Bowman for Halifax, 13 points. Alex Scheib, 11, led Halifax. Hilda Impact, Elliot Wilson, 13. Nicom Beverly, 18. And Juwan Gooding, 14. Those were scorers for Hilda Impact Academy. Now let's get to the main event, should we say. Now, I caught some flack tonight after the game from Coach Wingard and some other fans about how I thought we would win. I went on my video and said we would win by 10. And here's how I based it on. Number 1, how many times was Penn Live / Patriot News covering Millersburg game this year? 2-3 times compared to me, where I was pretty much at the majority of the games. So I got to see from the beginning, middle of January to now, how Millersburg has really played very good basketball defensively, especially on the defensive end, and especially since Mikey Prime got inserted in the starting lineup. How I said the other night, lots of energy, especially on defense. He has a nice mid-range game. He'll step back once in a while and hit some threes. So I got to see us evolve as a team. And that pretty much showed tonight how Millersburg evolved, how they've matured as a team. And we'll get into that. Number 2, West Shore Christian and their competition. Every single year, teams from the CCAC, they put up 20-win seasons. They come into the playoffs, get blown out. That's number 2. And number 3, even the media, per se. It's more prevalent in football how Penn Live, the Daily Item, especially the Daily Item makes me sick. How they've picked against Millersburg and expected, especially in 06 and 07 in football, how they picked Millersburg to beat Lime Mountain, and what happened? Millersburg won, and it's not a fluke. They're guilty, but the Patriot News does the same thing. Some of their picks, and I know those of you that are probably going to watch this will agree. Some of their picks are head scratching. So that's how I came to my pick, by winning by at least 10 points. Didn't happen. But we won. I picked Millersburg to win. Patriot, a.k.a. Penn Live, picked West Shore to win by 1. In the first half, I was a little concerned and worried. Like, I did not expect West Shore Christian to come out and play like they did. But the fishing... Here's the foul shooting stats tonight. Both teams combined for 74 foul shots. How in the world, for a high school basketball game, 74 foul shots? The game was over by almost 9:30. That just scratches my head. Both teams combined for 50. They were 50 for 74 from the foul line. But the first quarter, it killed Millersburg again, and I was afraid the same. I said to a couple friends of mine at halftime, that was the worst half of basketball since the first Upper Dauphin game. We just got blown. I don't know if we took them lightly in the first half, but that's not how we've played basketball since the middle of January. At one point, it was 44-18. At halftime, it was 46-26. We're down 20 at half. And we outscored in the last 3 quarters. 2, 4, 6, 9, 12. Well, let me figure this out here. 2, 4, 7, 9, 11. 36, 57, 36. Millersburg outscored West Shore Christian from the third quarter to overtime. The rebounding was very big. The key to the second half, Connor Kime, Peyton Warfel, and Matt Snyder. But Kime and Peyton Warfel hitting some big shots. But I think the play of the night, and it couldn't have been drawn any better. It wasn't a drawn play, but it was perfect. The missed foul shot, and I don't know who made the tip, but that tip was perfect, right in rhythm with Robbie Berger to hit the jumper to tie the game and go OT. That couldn't have been perfect. That was playing perfectly. That couldn't have went any better. That's how in that situation, that's how it should have been drawn. How the coach would want it to go. But outstanding job in the second half. They limited the Landis kid. He went to the foul line a lot, but they limited Songster. They limited him. He had a big first half. They limited him only to 4 points. So that was critical. But the Landis kid ended up with 30 points. 14 for 17 from the foul line. They didn't really. Millersburg put up a total of 64 shots, and they only had 45. So we were more aggressive offensively in the second half. Plus, I think the defense and the rebounding was very big. I should have done rebounding and stuff, but I think we controlled the boards. Also, the first half, penetration, we allowed too much deep penetration against our defense for West Shore. They really got into the paint and got us in foul trouble. But also a head scratcher to me, too. Right before Berger hit the foul shot, we made the shot. Or I forget, but they didn't press us at all. After they scored, yeah, it was after they scored. They didn't press. They allowed us to come down the court, and then they drew they allowed Kiter to score to make it a 2-point game. and they didn't do nothing. And then they made a bad foul. They shouldn't have fouled. They should have just tried to let the clock run out, and then they probably would have won the ball game. So some head scratching play, fouling by West Shore Christian down the stretch was very big as well. So you have to. But I think West Shore Christian, to me, they lost the game themselves. But Millersburg in their defense and more aggressive in offense, that played a very key role in that as well. We're going to take a break and we'll talk more about this game right after this. This is the Low Record Show, Low Record Network. We'll be back.